I don't know if we're going to get any people in, but if you are in right now currently and you've joined the stream, welcome. Oh, gotta move my TV a little bit. Okay, welcome if you are a part of the stream. If you're just coming in, let's see if we got any comments. Um, Amy Jo Johnson said, "Can't wait." Oh, that was from 11:42 a.m. Okay, well, it seems that there isn't anyone currently on right now, so we're gonna see if we can get some people in. I'm sure there'll be some people in at some point, but I hope everybody is having a good day and just kind of enjoying life and somewhat. I hope everybody had a good Mother's Day if you celebrate it. Yeah. What's up, Marvel fan? What's up? Welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing good. I hope you had a good weekend, a good Mother's Day. We're going to be talking X-Men 97 Episode 9 because there's a ton of stuff to talk about. Man, oh man, this show just keeps getting better and better and better with each episode. So now that you're in, and I'm sure we'll get more people in, but now that you're in, what did you think of the episode? Did you like it? Did you not like it? What are some things? How are you feeling about the episode? Also, don't mind my hair. I just took a nap, so let's see. Let's go. I am low key kind of sad that the show is ending. I know. I feel you because this show has been so good, and it's just been a treat every single week to just get this show another episode. And this week is the final week. Like, it just doesn't feel real that this is going to be the final episode until maybe next year. I don't know when we're going to get the next season. I heard that they are currently. Uh, there's some parts of the second season that are done. There's still some other things that they need to work on. So I would imagine we probably won't see this show until next year. That's just my guess. Let's see, Marvel fan. Let's go. Okay, you love the episode. That's good. Yeah, I love this episode too because we got so much in this episode alone. I mean, we got the classic costumes from the X-Men. And we got the whole ending with Wolverine and the adamantium being pulled from his body. You know what? You know what's funny? Because the last live stream we did, I believe we talked about, like, imagine if they did that and then it ended up happening. Um, I stayed up. Like, I stayed up that Tuesday night and I was basically there for all the way up until like 3 when the show premiered. And I watched the episode, and I tell you, when they showed Wolverine's adamantium just being pulled from his body, I actually shed a tear. Just one single tear. Because I was like, they really did this. Like, they really actually did that. And I was expecting it, but at the same time, I wasn't sure that they were going to do it. But the fact that they actually do it, and just the shocking part of just, Wolverine stabbing Magneto, and you see the blood on his claws, like you see it, and I was just really surprised that they showed that. But it's awesome that they did, because to me this is showing that this show is for adults. This is for fans who grew up with the original X-Men series. They're taking a more, we're adults now. We can handle the blood and the cursing and all that stuff. So it just shows a sign of maturity. And the thing about this show is they don't overdo it. You know how some adult animated shows or shows that are for a mature audience or for the grown-ups, you know how they use a lot of overuse of curse words and just blood and gore because they feel like they can? This show doesn't do that. And that's one of the things about this show that I love. Storytelling comes first. And, just with this show alone, just doing a lot of the comic runs, and it's getting people back into the X-Men comics. I mean, the fact that, Bo DeMaio basically gave us homework about what comic to read before the episode premiered. Because I actually went and read the actual comic that he posted on Twitter. I was like, okay, let me read through this because it's been a little bit. So the story elements, you can see a lot of the story elements that they were doing in that comic. With the whole, Rogue being on Magneto's side, though in the comic it's different. It's actually Colossus who's actually ends up being on Magneto's side. I do like how they were able to do that, especially with Rogue's story throughout this entire series. And I don't blame her. What's so interesting is that Professor X has this one belief, and Magneto has this other belief. And it's like two beliefs just clashing. So I understand both sides. I understand Magneto being sick and tired of all the violence and the destruction to mutants. I understand him wanting to move to another area, Asteroid M, where people can feel safe. But then I also understand Xavier, who's on the side of, you know, we deserve to coexist here. We deserve to be here just as much as humans, and there shouldn't be a problem with that. So I definitely understand both sides. Let me get to your comments. Yep, totally. This show is super balanced. It is. It is super balanced. And I know there's a lot of people complaining like, oh, I wish they gave certain comic runs, more time. But bear in mind, this is 10 episodes. If the show had maybe 15 to 20 episodes like the original series, then okay, I could see them, pulling out more time to do them. But for them to be able to take certain comic runs, and for them to take certain storylines and try to shorten them up, it's kind of like, okay, we're giving you this story. If you want to know more about these stories, go to the comics. And you're seeing a lot of increase in merch, increase of people buying X-Men comics. People want to know about these characters. They want to know about the stories. And I just think it's a really awesome thing that this show has been able to do this. And that's why this show gets me very hopeful with Marvel animation in the future. I feel like with all the other shows that are going to come out, I hope that they can have this same level of, great storytelling and, relaying to the comics and giving people that extra homework to do, if they choose to. Again, it's all about choice. But the classic comic accurate outfits was a really nice treat. I believe we also talked about that in the last stream. I watched the Pride of the X-Men, um, little pilot they did, and I was like, I wonder if they're gonna give Cyclops that same outfit, and they did. So I think Bodemao even teased it on Twitter. He said like, check out the pilot, and I was like, oh, they're doing it. They're actually gonna do it. So that was also a nice treat. Who do you think they will kill off if they do kill someone off? Ooh, that is a good question. I know for sure it's definitely not going to be Wolverine because the storyline that they're going to go with now is because all that adamantium has been pulled out of Wolverine. He's going to have the bone claws now. He eventually gets his adamantium back, but they're going to go with the bone claws for him, so I don't see him dying. I'm trying to think. It's definitely not anyone like Storm or Jean. I mean, it could. I don't think they're gonna go with doing Jean again. I mean, Dark Phoenix, we'll probably see the Dark Phoenix again at some point, but I don't think they're gonna try to kill off Jean. Um, Jean's too much of a big player. So as far as like who they could kill off, I could see Morph, but then again, I could also see them not wanting to kill off Morph because Morph is just like one of those characters where it's like, I mean, even in the episode, I mean, he turned into the literal Hulk, and I'm like, this is more Hulk than we've seen in a long time with anything Marvel related. Because I mean, the MCU, because they don't have the rights to the Hulk, and the Hulk is with Universal and that whole thing. I do feel like I do feel like we this is like a really nice treat to the Hulk fans as well. Like, hey, we can do a Hulk, if we want to. Do you think Gambit is coming back? I think he might come back around the third season. Yeah, I could see Gambit coming back because I know one of the comic runs is he's with the Horsemen. And I believe Wolverine also ended up being with the Horsemen too at some point as well, if I'm not mistaken. So I could see the Horseman storyline, where with the whole thing with Sinister, because again, if Sinister is going to be this villain, all throughout, because it's not Apocalypse, and I know Apocalypse will definitely come back at some point, but they've set this up to the fact that the main villain is Mr. Sinister. So I definitely could see Mr. Sinister getting Gambit back and maybe a Wolverine, and then they do the Horseman storyline. Also, Mr. Sinister, he had the moves in that episode. That battle with him and Jean, where he was like skating back, like it's really cool that they're able to take certain movements of characters and just kind of have them move like so flawlessly. Like they've been here and they've done this before. Wolverine was with the Horsemen, and that's how he got his adamantium back. Okay, then I definitely see that happening then. I definitely see that happening then. I do, like I said, I do know that he does join the Horsemen at some point, and I know he does get his adamantium back, but I don't know exactly when. So that is a good point. So again, I could definitely see that. Again, I definitely think they're gonna lead towards Avengers versus X-Men at some point. So there's got to be like a big threat out there that could really like make this Avengers versus X-Men thing happen, which I think it could be Sinister, could be Bastion, could be Apocalypse, it could be all three. Also, I think they might kill off Rogue. They could. I just hope they don't because um I mean the whole Gambit situation that really got me for weeks, and I still haven't recovered. But if they do kill off Rogue, I could see her doing it in a sacrificial way, and that would be like very saddening. But also for her to also be able to join Gambit, I feel like that would be bittersweet to her story, because she feels like she can finally be with her man, um, at long last, not have to worry about her powers and stuff like that. Do you think they will do a spin-off of the New Mutants? They could. They could do a spin-off of the New Mutants because we got Forge on the team, which I think Forge being on the team, I feel like at some point they're gonna split off and do like the X Force and stuff like that. So that would be cool. Um, I said we've seen Spider Man, we've seen Silver Samurai, we've seen the Hulk, morph as the Hulk. So it really does seem like they're trying to build up a '90s animated universe with all of these characters, making appearances and stuff. I'm surprised though. We're probably not gonna get Kitty Pryde anytime soon, but um, that would be cool to see her at some point join the X-Men team. Also, I think. Also, do you think Magneto could die? I see him dying. Yeah, he could because I think what they're gonna do, they're not gonna do how they did with the comics. I mean, they are still gonna tie it into the comics as like reference, but I think Magneto being Nimrod, not Nimrod, Magneto being what's his name? When Magneto and Professor X fuse together, and it's like this one big onslaught. That's what I'm talking about. Onslaught. I definitely see them doing Magneto being Onslaught this time around instead of it being Professor X. Um, and maybe the whole aftermath of Onslaught, maybe that kills Magneto. Maybe they could pull Professor Xavier. Maybe we think Magneto is dead because I mean, there's plenty of times where people think Magneto was dead and then he comes back evil again. Like he's not dead, so they could do that again. But I don't know how long they can continue doing that until they get to a point where it's like, okay, what story are we gonna set for Magneto? Are we gonna keep him evil, or is he gonna be in between? Is he just gonna be dead? So I could see Magneto dying at some point. I really do feel like we are gonna get another death at some point. I don't know if in the season, maybe the next season, but I don't know who would go. Like all these characters are just so beloved. I don't want them to die, but you know, It's gonna happen at some point. I think they might do a blue and gold X-Men teams if they bring back Psylocke and Archangel. Yeah, I could see that, and Iceman. Yeah, I could see that too. That would be interesting. Psylocke and the whole thing with Psylocke, Jean, and Scott in the comics. Scott really has like this weird thing where he finds Psylocke in some kind of way very attractive, and she kind of plays into it a little bit, and Jean is kind of like, I'm not really feeling that. So I could definitely see maybe that could tie more into the love drama kind of situation with Scott and Jean. Now that the Madeline situation is just kind of out the window now. Which do you guys actually feel like Madeline is dead? Because I, in some part of me feels like Madeline might come back in some way. I just don't know what way, but I don't think she's dead. But she could might as well be dead. I see what you're saying. And later on, if they do the blue and gold team, I think they could do an episode for the blue and another one for the gold team. Yeah, they could, because you split them up. Which, by the way, there's been a lot of discussion about that too. If you were to choose, what team would you be on? Would you be on Team Gold or Team Blue? Because me personally, because let's look at Team Gold and Team Blue. Because I believe, let's see, Team Gold and Blue X-Men. Because correct me if I'm wrong. Let's see. I also think they will bring back Madeline. They should bring her back as a villain. I agree too, because I feel like we didn't get enough of her villain arc. I feel like we didn't get enough of her villain arc. So it would be nice to have her come back. Let's see. We got blue and gold team right here. So for the blue team, we have Cyclops, Rogue, Gambit, Beast, Psylocke, and Wolverine. For those who may not know, and then for gold team, I believe that's Storm, Jean, Storm, Bishop, Colossus, and Ice. I believe that's Iceman. So, what team would you be a part of? I think I would be a part of blue team. Not just because my favorite color is blue, but just the whole Cyclops, Gambit, like Rogue, like that's the team I want to be on personally. Yeah, blue team. Yeah, definitely. Gold team got some heavy hitters too. I mean, you got Storm, you got Jean, and in that sort of thing. Which Storm and Jean, I mean, they're really interesting characters that I'm hoping we get more story on in the future because I feel like there's so much more story that you could tell with just those two alone. I mean that the in the episode the little sisterhood moment that they had together, I really like those moments. And you can just really tell like from their history that they have like a lot of history with each other. They're like sisters. Um, so that was just like a really nice moment. It really is when you really think about it, the X-Men, like this team of X-Men, it really does feel like one big happy family. Well, maybe not a happy family. More like a dysfunctional family, so to speak, because they're all different in their own unique ways, but together they're great, and together and even separately they're great as well. So it all just works to their characters and just the amount of history that's just been built up with these characters throughout the years. Maybe that should be a good question for people in the comments too. Like when I end the stream, I'll leave people with the question: Would you join blue team or gold team? So that's actually a pretty good question to leave the stream on. But yeah, also if you don't mind, we're gonna talk a little bit about Batman Caped Crusader too, because I feel like Batman Caped Crusader. It looks like a really interesting show. and just kind of the first looks that we got. I know that Batman Caped Crusader is a 40s noir type show, which is really interesting. That's a really cool period to be in. Um, they said that this Bruce is different. He's gonna be different in a lot of ways. Obviously, the characters are a little bit different. We got Catwoman, we got Harley Quinn, which they said Harley Quinn is gonna be a complete opposite from what she is, like a complete inverse in a way, which seems like it's gonna freshen up the character a little bit. She's also not gonna be the Joker's boyfriend in this. Um, yeah, so I'm looking forward to Batman Cape Crusader. I think Bruce Timm, for the most part, with Batman the Animated Series, I mean, that's one of my, for a lot of people, one of their favorite all time shows, if not their favorite all time superhero show. Um, just depends on who you ask. But obviously, Batman the Animated Series is one of my favorite superhero animated shows of all time. And I just hope that they do the show right. Obviously, there's going to be 10 episodes and the show's gonna premiere August 1st, I believe, August 1st. And yeah, let's see. I would get shot. I would get shot if I made a Wolverine. I would get shoot and make it like I make Wolverine take the bullet. So you would take the bullet for Wolverine, is what you're saying. When do you think Jean got swapped out? I think when Jean got swapped out for me is when she got captured by Sinister. I believe it might have been the second season when she got captured, and there was like an area, and like she was laying down, and I feel like that's when she got swapped. It could have been maybe earlier. Also, the new Batman show looks good. The animation looks stunning. Yeah, it does. Just from the first looks, it really does carry that Batman the Animated Series uh, in tone. So I hope the animation and everything continues with that same vibe. Hopefully, we get a trailer soon. It'll probably be maybe July before we get a trailer. Maybe it could be earlier. We'll just have to see. But if we do, I'll definitely do a reaction to it, like I always do for most of the trailers. No, I meant Wolverine could take the bullet for me, so I will be protected if I do. Yeah, that's true because he does have the healing factor. That is true. When you really think about it, on certain ends, Wolverine is kind of like Luke Cage in terms of like the whole healing factor and being able to take like bullets and stuff. I wonder what a Wolverine and Luke Cage team up would be like. I think that would be pretty cool. I don't think it would ever happen. It could happen in maybe someone does a comic of it, but I don't think we'll ever see it in like a live action setting. We might see it in animation, but I don't know. It just depends. If they ever decide to get a Daredevil animated series off the ground, it could make it more possible. I do think Luke Cage is also another interesting character that I know we only got to see in the Netflix series. But I would love to see Luke Cage come back. Well, also Ultimate Spider-Man as well. He was on the team with Spidey, but other than that, like I would love to see Luke Cage have maybe like his own show back or something in the future. Does the Batman show have a release date? Yeah, I have not been keeping up on all that. Yes, it does. It comes out August 1st, and it's going to be on Amazon Prime. All 10 episodes. Which to me, I feel like if I'm Amazon, I would have dropped one episode a week for this show, like they're doing with X-Men '97. Because to me, I was all upon the whole binge the entire season in a day. But now it's kind of changed for me because with X-Men '97, it's kind of given me this like being able to cherish, but also being able to discuss, these episodes with you guys weekly. Although I didn't do all of the episodes weekly like I planned to, but if I would have known about doing a live back then, I definitely would have done one. But just being able to talk to you guys about every single week, things about the episodes and what we liked and all that. I feel like they should do the same thing with Batman Caped Crusader. I mean, they do it with Invincible. Why can't they do it with Batman? Also, congrats on 1.88K. Your channel is growing crazy love. Your stuff, crazy love on your stuff. 2K is coming in no time. It is. It is. I am honestly shocked by the amount of love and support that's been going on the channel recently. There's just been like a high influx of views and comments and just kind of people kind of just finding out. And I think really what helped is that Me TV Tunes video that I did. That video really blew up and it's still blowing up. It's still gaining views. I believe I believe it might be my highest video. I do have an X-Men 97 video. That is like my all-time highest, and you guys see it on the front page all the time. But I believe it might catch up to that. Because I thought that X-Men 97 video was going to reach 30K views, but it didn't. So this one might actually be the one to do it. But I still get tons of comments from people on the Me TV Tunes, and even the Me TV Tunes live stream. That got over like 1K, and I was like honestly surprised. I didn't know, this amount of people actually, like wanted to watch me, just a regular live stream. I don't have any special effects or none of that stuff yet. Just a random guy talking about stuff, so it was pretty cool. That Me TV Tunes is your second most popular video. Yeah, it's my second most popular video, which is just crazy because it was just so like I stayed up the night when they like finally released the video. I stayed up that night and I was like, I'm gonna make a video on this. I was like, nah, I shouldn't make a video on this. I should wait until tomorrow. I'm glad I didn't, because that video blew up overnight, and I still don't know how, but I'm just very, very, very just proud of myself and proud of just everybody else who's just tuned in and gave the video even just a second of your time. It really matters. It's only 1K views behind the X-Men 97 video. Yeah, yeah, it is. So it could catch up to it. So that's just going to be really interesting to see where that goes. Also, the live streams have also been helping too because the watch hours. When you have many people watching it, the watch hours go up, and my watch hours, I'm almost really close to monetization for the 500. When you gain 500 subscribers. But for the 1,000, I'm getting more and more closer to that, so I'll be able to start doing all the monetization stuff in the future, which would be really nice. Just a little bit of income coming in. That would also just be really nice, but I'm not really in it for that. I'm just in it because I'm really passionate about talking about cartoons and just anything that just sparked my interest. And don't worry, like Marvel fan. I know you like we discussed about like maybe doing some other live action stuff in the future. So we're definitely gonna do some live action stuff over on the Jace TV channel. I just got to figure out what things I want to do. Also, the video you posted today is your 330th video. Really? I did not know that. Let's see, Caden. What's up, Caden? How are you doing? I hope you're doing good. I hope you had a good weekend, a great Mother's Day if you celebrate it. Let's see, it's because your channel is more positive and more natural than so much more other channels. Honestly, you don't use scripts, you always keep it real, and you never ponder to the audience. Yeah, that's like a big thing, like a big marketing thing for this channel. Maybe not marketing, but like which is what I think is extremely cool about you is that what I think is helping you grow, man. Thank you. Thank you, Marvel fan. Thank you guys. Like really, that really means a lot to me. I really wanted this channel to feel like I'm just talking with you guys. Like we're in the same room. I want everybody, every viewer to feel like I am sitting on the couch with you and we are just simply having a conversation even though you're not here with me. Just having that feeling is always the vibe I've always wanted to have in any of the content that I do. I want to take you guys on the journey with me. And just being able to have you guys always support and show love and everybody else that just comes through is just a really amazing thing. And again, I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for you guys and all of your support, really. I'm very much grateful and humble just being able to do what I do, you know. What's up, Jonathan? How are you doing? I hope you're doing good today. Oh, about that Looney Tunes news. How you feeling about the Looney Tunes news? Annecy is gonna be big. It's gonna be really big this year. If you guys haven't checked out the new video I just put out today, definitely go check it out. Because there's a lot in that video. We're getting a lot at the Annecy Film Festival. You feel like you're here to have you feel like you're here to have fun, share your thoughts, unlike other YouTubers who just do it for money and views. Yeah, when I started this channel, I didn't my first rule that I threw out was we're not doing this for views. We're not doing this for likes and clicks and clout. We're doing this simply because I love what I do. And the that's what the that's the vibe I want to continue to have. Do what you love, talk about it, feel passionate about it, and not think about, oh, how can I get the next trending top video? Oh, how can I get talked about in the animation realm? Because I know you guys see a lot of channels who misconstrue a lot of information for a narrative. I'm not gonna say any names, I'm not gonna say any names, but you guys know if you know. But there's a lot of YouTubers. Like for example, when the Me TV Tunes stuff came out, I never said anything about it. Cartoon Network getting shadowed or anything about Cartoon Network is dying or Boomerang is dying, because those channels are not dying. I don't know why people have these misconceptions, and these other bigger channels out here love to throw these like over exaggerated points and narratives about Cartoon Network is dying and Boomerang is dying because Me TV Tunes is coming out. We can have three channels. Like, who says one channel has to die to elevate another channel? I just never got that. It's really annoying when you as someone who wants to display honest news, because you don't want to lie to people, and I don't want to lie to people, and I don't get everything right. Like, I want to make that clear. I don't get everything right. I make mistakes. We're all human. But I don't want to lie to you guys and over exaggerate about things that I know are not true. That and honesty is the best policy. Let's see, not just finished the video and I'm almost done. Awesome. Let me know what you think of it. Again, we got a lot. I mean, we got the Gumball Season 7 news. We got The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie. We have Creature Commandos, which I'm really looking forward to. Creature Commandos with the new DCU, because I know James Gunn. I have hope in James Gunn that he's really going to bring something different to this universe of DC. And just a ton of other, I believe Adult Swim is also going to be there, Cartoon Network Studios, Hanna-Barbera Studios Europe, and Warner Brothers Animation is also going to be there. So who knows, we might get some other projects out there. And I know some people have been saying like, well, I don't want all these reboots and all this stuff. And I do agree to some. I don't want it to be fully reboots. I would love to see some original content out there. So I hope we get a balance of both and a mixture of both. Because when you have both, I feel like both sides win. I feel like we all win. Let's see, bro. Caden says, bro, I am stoked for the new Day the Earth Blew Up Looney Tunes movie. It's like a dream for real. I can't wait to see it in theaters with the fam. Love the fluent animation too. Yeah, it looks very fluent. I know there's been like a little sneak peek, and it was like it was obviously you get to see like the art process of how they're drawing certain things, but even like the new image that they shared today, like of Daffy, Porky, and Petunia just hiding away from the aliens, that was just like really nice, really like clear, and just reminds me a lot of the Looney Tunes cartoons that came out recently. Let's see, I totally agree with you. Also, it is fine that you make mistakes, as you are human. We are all human and make mistakes. Exactly, we all make mistakes, and being able to learn from those mistakes is where you grow. That's the real growth. The Creature Commandos looks cool. Is there a release date? If there is not, do you think it will? Well, I do remember hearing a while back that they said it was going to come out towards the fall. I don't know if that's still going to be the case. We'll just have to see. Maybe we'll get a release date at this Annecy event. it would be nice to get some extra information about Creature Commandos, because besides the image we've had for almost a year now, and some other like leaked concept art stuff, and just the new logo that we got today, like that's all we have. I noticed a lot of people at first talking about how they thought MTV MeTV Tunes is going to take over and replace Boomerang and Adult Swim, which I also thought was a ridiculous idea. Yeah, it is. It is, because honestly, this is like a free antenna TV channel, and it's also going to be on streaming platforms too. But this is like strictly like classic animation. If Cartoon Network still wants to do classic animation, they still want to show the checkered past segment. I mean, they still have that, but for someone who wants to watch classic cartoons, maybe some underrated gems that they haven't seen in a long time, like a lot of people have been suggesting on that video, that's the place. MeTV Tunes. But I mean, Boomerang, they still have, your Looney Tunes, your Tom and Jerry, your Popeye. I believe they're constantly adding new classic animated shows back on the network like it should have stayed. So I don't really see the point of people going with the narrative of just, again, oh, Cartoon Network is being replaced. Boomerang is being replaced. It's not. Stop the narrative. But again, that happens a lot. That happens a lot in the animation industry. I mean, not industry, but animation YouTube community. And that's what one of the reasons why I wanted to join, because I wanted to stop and cut that, and just kind of cut that narrative out. You know what I mean? I feel like there has to be someone to debunk a lot of the stuff that people try to run with. I agree. I'm stoked for the Looney Tunes movie. I grew up watching a bunch of different iterations of Looney Tunes. Watching all of it, I love Looney Tunes. I am super excited for that. Yeah, I'm glad. Again, I am a Looney Tunes fan through and through, and I love these characters. And we've had some great iterations. We've had some, in between iterations, but for that, I still love these characters even after all these years, and I always will. The Day the Earth Blew Up is the first full animated movie, the first 2D animated movie I'm going to see in theaters. I've been checking out recent Looney Tunes shorts, and they're great. Yeah, yeah, classic Looney Tunes. Again, like I could be having a bad day, and all I can do is just put on Looney Tunes cartoons, Looney Tunes shorts, Duck Dodgers, and just have a good day. The Looney Tunes show, I mean, I still think Looney Tunes show is one of the best iterations of Looney Tunes that we've gotten, and I really wish we would have got more seasons with that show, because I love how grounded in reality that show was, and it definitely gave us like definitely gave us like a different side of the Looney Tunes that we haven't really seen before, and I really enjoyed that. Do you think the new X-Men suits are better than the old ones? Uh, I like them both. Like I really like them both. I think they work for certain situations. Um, I don't think I would want the classic suits to remain their main suits. Like I would love for them to go back to their Jim Lee styled suits, because I think that, like, to me, that's where the X-Men for me is like very iconic. Like Uncanny X-Men, when they had the, like, again, Cyclops had the helmet with the laser visors and stuff like that. Again, it's cool. It's a cool thing to see, but I don't want it to be its permanent costume. Like I prefer Cyclops with the hair out, and you know, just something about that Jim Lee, Chris Claremont era that I love. The Looney Tunes show is also pretty funny. It is. There's a lot of funny jokes in there, and just have you seen the out of context? There's like a lot of out of context clips of the Looney Tunes show, and I always like go and watch those compilations because it's simply funny for people who haven't seen the show before. So they're gonna be like, "Wait, what?" But then when they watch the actual show and see the context of a lot of the jokes, they're like, "Oh, okay, that makes sense." So yeah, you're so right. I've just seen sad, just been sad seeing some of the animation community grow more and more negative over the years, especially. And if anything, you always tend to speak my mind a lot. Yeah, it again, like it's really sad that a lot of the communities now, not just animation, but like Marvel, DC, the music, like a lot of these like community and fan bases now have just been overly negative with just, you know, this and that, and it's like people get so caught up in just what can I do to get views, what can I do to get people's attention, that to the point where you can't really enjoy things. Another thing is spoiler culture, and as someone who's an avid Marvel fan, I feel like a lot of the spoiler culture is what has caused this really upset in the community when it comes to Marvel, because yeah, don't get me wrong. There's been a lot of missed opportunities and poor decisions made on Marvel's behalf in terms of certain things. But I also feel like the spoiler culture on Twitter and just on social media alone just really kills to me the interest in people wanting to see certain movies or see certain TV shows, because it's like all it takes is for someone to get on set and take a picture of something that's really big in the plot, and now it's just like, oh, well, I don't need to watch the show now because I just seen someone on their phone literally record the ending of the show. So it sucks when this stuff continues to happen. Looney Tunes is an amazing franchise. It is an amazing franchise. In a lot of ways, I feel like a very underrated franchise in certain elements. I love the Looney Tunes show. Was just watching it an hour ago and forgot how amazing it was. How amazing it was, and nostalgia came flowing. Yeah, yeah. Looney Tunes show is just one of those shows. Like again, like I was little when the Looney Tunes show came on, and again that was like around the time where Cartoon Network was starting to like regain back its like audience. Like there was a lot of people coming back because again Cartoon Network was just in this like very gray area where it didn't really know what it wanted to be. They started doing live action shows. They started doing like giving YouTubers their actual shows on the platform, like the Annoying Orange. We don't talk about the Annoying Orange, but it was just in this very weird period. And then the period before it, like you had Class of 3000, Juniper Lee, and those shows. It was just like a very quiet part of Cartoon Network and very underrated in my opinion, that era, because again, Class 3000, Juniper Lee, I love those shows. Honestly, I don't get all the hate to Boomerang Cartoon Network. They're still good. Sure, they have not put out bangers, but nothing is wrong with them. Yeah, again, with anything, it doesn't matter if it's Cartoon Network, Boomerang, Disney Channel, Nickelodeon. There's always going to be that gray period to where, a lot of the shows that people grew up with, because again, when you had the dark period when Adventure Time ended, regular show got canceled. A lot of these shows like that were kind of taken off the air or got canceled for whatever reason, it left Cartoon Network in this place where it's like, okay, there's not really anything here. So you see on Cartoon Network they show a lot of reruns of The Amazing World of Gumball. Sometimes We Were Bears, regular show stuff like that. Because again, they just haven't had they just haven't had shows. I mean, obviously you have Craig of the Creek, which I believe Craig of the Creek is ended or just about to end. So that again, that's just another like thing where I feel like Cartoon Network, all they need is just a good amount of good original shows that really spark the wave in how Adventure Time and Regular Show and Amazing World of Gumball and We Bear Bears and Mighty Magic Swords and those shows like really like brought a new era to Cartoon Network. I think Cartoon Network needs that again, which I think they'll get it back. And Boomerang, it can come back. Like it doesn't have to like be what people have always like donned it to be, like this terrible rebrand. They can always change things up and bring back what it used to be. Jonathan, you say Eric Bauza is a walking and talking angel. Yeah, I tuned into his live stream the other night because I believe he had like a Muppets puppet in his hand, and it was Fozzie Bear, and he was doing a 12-hour live stream for the children for like I believe for cancer. He did like a 24-hour live stream on YouTube. There was tons of other people from different animation things and stuff like that were there that were just entertaining the kids, and I love seeing stuff like that. I love seeing charity and people giving back. That's something I want to do in the future. I want to give back to charity and just give back to people and help people where I can. That's something I definitely want to do in the future. Seeing Real was a nightmare. Jim Staples resigned from CEO of Cartoon Network for a short while, but it did pick up when Regular Show and Adventure Time were greenlit. Yeah, those shows really brought back the era of Cartoon Network, and it made it into a new era, but it felt familiar to what we had before. Seeing Real became a thing, which again, Seeing Real is just it was the dark ages of Cartoon Network, I feel. Still can't believe that Nickelodeon refused to greenlight Adventure Time pilot in 2007. Yeah, imagine if they had did. They don't realize, and I'm pretty sure people over at Nickelodeon, even to this day, regret the fact that they did not greenlight Adventure Time, even with the Proud Family, because again, the Proud Family was originally supposed to be on Nickelodeon, but they turned it down, and Disney got it, and the Proud Family is arguably one of the most iconic Disney shows of all time. So, and Proud Family is just a fan favorite of mine because it just there isn't many shows, and I don't want to go into this, but I'm going to. But for me, as a African American kid growing up, we didn't really have many cartoons that really showed us, someone that looked like me on screen. Obviously, you had your Gerald, you had your side characters, but a show that kind of focused fully on like actual, a black family and stuff like that, like it really spoke to me as a kid. And I will always be thankful for Proud Family and Bebe's Kids and Class of 3000 and just those shows like that because they really brought us to screen and they didn't do it in a way that made us look like stereotypes and just all this other stuff that people have done in the past when it comes to black characters in animation. Adventure Time or regular show? I'm going with regular show. I wish I had like I was definitely drawn into Adventure Time, but then I kind of fell off of like Adventure Time. It might have been around the Flame Princess era. When the whole Flame Princess stuff happened, I kind of dropped out of Adventure Time. And again, don't make this any way to make it seem like I don't like Adventure Time. I obviously went back a few years later and rewatched the entire show. But if it all like came down to it, it would be regular show because I watched that show through and through every Monday at 7:15 p.m. because it used to come on 7:15 p.m. because they used to have the little promos on Cartoon Network, and it would be just like at the end of the promo, it would be them on the golf cart, just driving the golf cart, and we'd say, "Look out for the next episode of Regular Show on 7:15 p.m. on Cartoon Network." So it would just always get me like drawn in, and like I said, Regular Show. I've watched Regular Show so many times. I mean, I know a lot of people like to go into the whole Mordecai thing, but I've never seen Mordecai as a simp. That's kind of another like big discussion that was like really big at the time that I wish I would have been a YouTuber because I would have loved to debunk the whole Mordecai is a simp theory because I don't necessarily agree with that. I just feel like Mordecai was just like a lot of us sometimes when it comes to relationships. He has like this moment where he does kind of make it about himself, but also at the same time, it's like the guy is clearly hurting because the girl that he liked moved on. She went to college. She came back. Like there was a lot of stuff that was going on. So I've never necessarily seen Mordecai's a simp ever. So every time I hear that from people, it's like I disagree with you. Um, I don't see it. Prop Family is one of the greatest. It is one of the greatest. I agree. Regular show is pretty good and funny. It is. And the regular show finale made me cry. It literally made me cry. I rest in peace, Pops. Rest in peace, Pops. Who would have thought like a character from like one of J.G. Quintel's older pilot shorts, The Naive Man of Lollyland. I believe that was the name of the short. Who would have thought like a small character like that would have been such a big, like a big prominent character in regular show? And even with the other short that they had with the two clerks in the store, and I believe they took like weird drugs or something, and one of them looked like Mordecai, and the other one looked like Benson. Like, who would have thought like these characters would have came back in such a way that they made a show about it on Cartoon Network, and it's arguably one of the greatest Cartoon Network series of all time. The finale of regular show was tear jerking. Bro, I agree. It literally made me cry. It was a genius ending. It was, and the way that they were able to tie everything up in that show from the beginning, like they go back to the Power episode. And I mean, the Power, like, to me, the Power is like one of those iconic episodes because it's like the first episode. You're still trying to figure out how these characters are, and even their voices changed over time. I mean, Muscle Man had like this at one point had like this really weird voice, and then like he had the iconic voice that we know and love today. So it was just really cool, and that's another reason why I love going back and watching regular show because you get to see the process of how these characters were and how they are to the end, and see like it's a completely different show, and the quality just was just kind of getting better and better within each season. I'll never forget my favorite episode to this day is Rage Against the TV. Now, if you guys know Rage Against the TV, it was about Mordecai and Rigby. They were playing video games, and they got to the final boss called the Hammer. And they wanted to beat the Hammer, but the TV broke, so they had to go all over to find somebody who would help them beat the Hammer. And Muscle Man and High Five Ghosts were like, "Ain't no way y'all got to the Hammer." And they showed they did get to the Hammer when they described him. And it was just like those episodes like that. Like, I love just the storytelling, and then they actually had to fight the Hammer in the townhouse. Um, One of my favorite episodes of all time. Like I said, regular show's goated. I love that series so much. When do you think you will hit 10 subs? 2K subs? I think 1 or 2 weeks. Yeah, I honestly feel like 1 or 2 weeks it could happen. Anything is possible. How do you think X-Men 97 will end? I feel like X-Men 97 is going to end on such a cliffhanger that it's going to leave all of our jaws dropped. Something is going to happen. Either somebody's going to die or someone is going to throw some kind of big secret or something that we just were not expecting. Maybe Cyclops goes to the bad side. I don't know where it could go, but it's definitely going to be something like jaw dropping that we just didn't see coming. And they're going to do it in such a way that's going to make us say like, wow, this show is on a different level. And we haven't had anything like this since I feel like Invincible. Invincible, when that show came out, like it really like set the bar high. But I feel like X-Men 97 has done it in such a way where it's like, wow, like this is really like a Marvel show. It's really a Disney show, and they're really not holding back. They're showing the stakes, and I think that's another reason why people love X-Men 97 so much is the fact that this show is giving us those stakes. It's giving us that we don't know what could happen. Any character could die at any moment. We just have no idea. We have no idea where the story could go. I mean, yeah, again, you could look at the comics and see where it goes, but we honestly don't know how far into the comics they're going to go with the stories. Imagine if they fumble season 2 of X-Men 97. Let's hope not. I hope they don't, because again, they have something really good going with the show right now. That them fumbling the show in season 2 and even further seasons just wouldn't. I wouldn't want that to happen, and I hope it doesn't happen because again, storytelling has just been really good in this show. But yeah, like for example, I know today Marvel shared like a new title for the Agatha show, and that got like a lot of discourse online from people. But I'm like, you guys know like they're just doing multiple episode titles. Like that's all the Agatha show is. It's just multiple episode titles. I'm pretty sure the show is gonna be called Agatha or something. Agatha all along. Like I'm pretty sure we're gonna get a confirmed name at some point, but I didn't really dig too much into it because I was like, these are just episode titles. That's all it is. So this and there's spoofs and parodies off of other shows and movies. Like the one they shared today was a spoof off of Chronicles of Narnia. I can't remember which Chronicles of Narnia. I just know it was something the Lion and the Wardrobe. I believe that was the title of it. But yeah, but again, like going back to the conversation of people will take something like that and find something negative out of it. They'll make a big deal out of it for nothing. And again, that's kind of like where I draw the line of like I understand having an opinion, but I feel like people can get like so overly negative about things that they completely just bash it. And I'm like, give it a chance. Let it play out. You don't know where it's going to go because it could go anywhere. I hope they don't make Apocalypse the main villain because he was in the OG show, and they should put Mr. Sinister front and center. Well, they've said that Mr. Sinister is going to be the front and center villain, and I hope it stays that way. Apocalypse can come in and he can be a side villain for maybe a storyline or two for an episode or two, but as far as like him being the main villain, they don't need to do that. Let Sinister have his shine because there's so much with Sinister that he does that I'm sure a lot of people will love to see. Again, the Horseman storyline. From what they're teasing with the latest episode, we're gonna get that. Also, that Wolverine scene was ripped straight out of the comics. Yes, it was. I remember reading that comic specifically as a kid, and just I was just shocked. The way my jaw dropped watching that episode is the same way my jaw dropped as a kid. Like, whoa, like no one had ever seen anything like that before. But the fact that they were able to draw it and really show, that happening to Wolverine was just a full on like wow moment. What are your top Marvel teams? My top Marvel teams. Obviously the X Men, the Avengers, and the Midnight Suns. Wait, yeah, the X Men, the Avengers, and the Midnight Suns. I love the Midnight Suns. I know we're gonna get that at some point, but Blade, you got Blade, Moon Knight, the Punisher, uh, all those characters. Come on now. That's like an all-time underrated team right there for Marvel. I hope we get him. I know there is rumors of a Midnight Suns movie, been rumored in the works for a while, so it'll be cool to see that. I just hope they do it right. I really hope they do it right. What's your favorite DC teams? Now, as far as DC teams, I don't know too much about DC as far as like the teams. Obviously, I know Teen Titans because I watched Teen Titans. So I would say Teen Titans is definitely going to be number one. Then I'd go with Justice League. Not like the full on of like classic just I'd say like the classic Justice League when you have Blue Beetle and a couple of those other characters. Um, and then for three, like I don't really know for three as far as like a third one. But obviously it'd be Teen Titans and Justice League. But let me know what are some of your favorite Marvel and DC teams? What's your top three DC and Marvel team combined? So it would go like this. It would go X-Men, Teen Titans, the Avengers. Yeah. X-Men, Teen Titans, the Avengers. I'm hoping that with James Gunn's DCU, animated wise, I hope we get like a Teen Titans animated series. And you want to know what artist I think would do really great for doing? Oh, Guardians of the Galaxy. That's another. I didn't even think about that. Guardians of the Galaxy. That's another good team. And Fantastic Four. Let's see. For me, top three Marvel teams are Guardians of the Galaxy, then Fantastic Four, then X Men. Okay, those are good teams too. Those are good teams too. The Guardians, like I said, I was like everybody else. I didn't really know of the Guardians of the Galaxy until James Gunn did the movies. And then when I went to see the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie in theaters, I fell in love. My buddy Tony, aka Anima TV, he loves Guardians of the Galaxy. I believe he's collected a lot of the Guardians of the Galaxy stuff, like from the game. If you guys have played the game, which I actually have the game on my computer, because they were like they had it online for free. They were doing like a thing so you could get the game for free, but I haven't played it yet. But but I mean I've played it, but I haven't played it on PC. So, but from what I have played of it and just kind of played through it, like I enjoyed the game. Like I love the music, the old school '80s rock music and that sort of thing. That's sort of my era. So I rock with it. And again, James Gunn really did something special with Guardians of the Galaxy. Fantastic Four, I'm looking forward to that movie, especially with the new casting of Galactus. I know a lot of people weren't really thinking of the guy that they got, but I actually see him as a good choice for Galactus because he just has that voice. He was in The Green Knight, I believe, and he just has like this very menacing voice. Um, so that was a good casting choice that I didn't think about. And for me, DC would be Suicide Squad, Teen Titans, and Justice League. That's right, Teen Titans. I meant Suicide Squad. Did you enjoy the Suicide Squad movie with James Gunn? Because I really enjoyed that movie. And I feel like had that movie not have come out during a hard time when we were all going through hard times, I feel like that movie would have made good money in the movies, but also they also put it on streaming that same day, which is kind of another bummer. That I wish had it not happened, the whole pandemic had happened. I feel like we would have been able to enjoy that movie uh, in a theatrical experience. Also, Guardians of the Galaxy is amazing. I definitely recommend it. Yeah, definitely, definitely. Rocket Raccoon is my favorite character. Like to me, I feel like Rocket Raccoon definitely could have been a Looney Tunes character. To me, like he has like that humor to him, but also like a little bit of that zany energy that it feels like if you were to put Rocket Raccoon in Looney Tunes, like he would just fit right in for some reason for me. I could see him and Wile E. Coyote like being good friends. I love that movie. Maybe tone down the violence a little bit, but Suicide Squad was great. Yeah, understandable. Understandable. There is a lot of violence in that movie. I mean, you're seeing people's heads get pew pew and all that stuff. So I definitely understand. Yeah. On to the back to the topic of Teen Titans. I actually do have a Teen Titans comic here. If you want to see, I actually have a couple comics, but I can show you guys the Teen Titans comic that I got if you guys want to see it. And this is like what I'm talking about, like the animation style that I would love to see them do a Teen Titans show in. So let me get it. I'll be right back. See if I can find it. It's somewhere in here. Here it is. Found it. Easy. All right. So The Teen Titans comic that I'm talking about here is this one. Now, this is from artist Gabriel Piccolo. So you guys can see right there. And I really, if you look right here, like if you guys can see, this is obviously a story about Beast Boy and Raven and how they met, and it's a really cool story. Got it off Amazon, so if you guys want to go check out, there's like a whole series. There's one on Raven by herself. There's one on Beast Boy by herself. I believe there's one of Robin that came out, and there's going to be one of Starfire that comes out this year. And the artist who does it is again Gabriel Piccolo, which he's done a lot of art on Twitter. You've probably seen him before, but I really love like what they're able to do with the art here, and just how they draw the characters. And I would love to see a Teen Titans animated series just in this style because it's just really a really nice style to look at. Let's see if I can find one. Yeah, like look at these transformations, like really cool transformations like this. Like I would love to see in an animated series at some point. Let's see, what were you guys saying? Yeah, there's Teen Titan comics out there. There is like again just look up Teen Titans Gabriel Piccolo on Amazon and you'll see there's like a whole row of them. Let's see, did you like the Suicide Squad movie? The one before James Gunn was not bad in my opinion. Yeah, I when you compare it to the James Gunn one, you could definitely see which one had the better quality in mind. But as far as like the Suicide Squad with Will Smith and that, I thought it was cool, but I just wish they had done more with the story with the other Suicide Squad movie that they did with the James Gunn one. And now that we know that that movie is technically canon in a way to this new DCU, because we're getting Peacemaker season 2. I believe they're currently filming Peacemaker season 2 as we speak right now. And I know that they're also doing a show for Amanda Waller, so we're gonna see Amanda Waller get her own show too, which I believe James Gunn said that Peacemaker is gonna come out after Superman. Which, speaking of that, how do you guys feel about the new Superman suit? Do you guys like it? Do you like the design? I actually like it. At first, I was a little bit on edge as far as how the suit looked, but looking back and seeing like all the references to the different Superman suits, and I kind of like it now. I'm warming up to it. I like it. So I'm looking forward to the Superman movie that comes out next year. That's definitely a movie that I'm gonna do a review on next year. If you guys want to see that on the other channel, it is pretty good. It looks a little dark, maybe a little bit too many lines. Understandable. Yeah, I can definitely understand. And I think what they were trying to do is they were doing the Superman. What was that suit called? The Superman suit 52? Is that Superman 52 suit? I believe that's the one. And that's the suit that has like all the lines in it. But then they also have like the gold trim on the logo that's a reference to the Fleischer shorts, which I actually watched the Fleischer Superman shorts as of recently. And I'm like I appreciate those. Like I had never watched them before up until I seen a video of them talking about the references of the suit, and it kind of made me want to go back and watch the Fleischer shorts with Superman. So I have an appreciation for those that I didn't have before. But I do wonder if that suit is gonna be brighter. Like obviously something has happened to the suit. Like it either looks worn out or he's fought something that's kind of messed up his suit a little bit. So I wonder like if the suit is gonna be brighter, because I do know that James Gunn he does have like a big influence with Superman, All Star Superman, which I've read All Star Superman, and it seems like a lot of the stuff there that they are going to do in the film They're gonna take from All Star Superman, the comic run there. But when they showed the image, like, yeah, I was like, oh man, okay, this is the suit. But I was super curious. What is going on in the background? Where's that pink beam coming from? Like, is it Lex Luthor? Is it Brainiac? Like, who could that be? As far as like what's getting attacked outside. So that really sparked my interest too. Do you plan on watching the Garfield movie day one? I plan on it. That would mean I would have that. There's two movies that I currently have on the list to watch. It's the new Planet of the Apes movie. I do want to go see that movie, and also the Garfield movie. I've been hearing a lot of good things about the Garfield movie. I've been hearing people say that it's a really fun film. So I'm looking forward to seeing it because again, Garfield is just one of those characters like I can never get enough of. People always think that Garfield is like this lazy cat, but no, Garfield has literally been on some adventures of his own. And when he goes on these adventures, the story gets even more interesting than he is when he is, just chilling or eating lasagna or pizza or getting on John's nerves. But yeah, I'm super confident it is Brainiac. Yeah, 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 I can see that. I can see that. I'm excited and I can't wait for us to finally get a trailer for that film. I feel like we've been waiting for so long for a trailer and even the suit reveal. And I feel like James Gunn probably was like, all right, I'm finally going to give them a suit reveal. Because if not, you know how it is. With spoiler and leak culture in today's age, somebody was going to take a picture of the suit. Somebody was going to leak the suit design out. So he probably wanted to get ahead of the game before that happened. Which is smart on him. Really is. Which I know you guys heard of recently with Marvel. They just caught one of the prominent leakers on Twitter because he leaked some stuff from one of the, I believe, Captain America. So, do you think James Gunn DC universe could be better than the MCU? It depends on the story. It depends on the stories and how they go. Which James Gunn is a good storyteller, so I have faith in him. It's just being able to get the right people involved, especially if you're going to do Batman Brave and the Bold, especially if you're going to do Paradise Lost, a series that's going to be in Namaskira, that's going to be about the land and I guess maybe an origin story to Wonder Woman, or maybe it's Wonder Woman in her years, which it seems like that's what they're doing with this DC universe. We're not going to get origin stories. This is going to be a full on DC universe that's been already established, that's been a lot of years in the making, which I am on board with because we know the origin of Superman. We know the origin of Batman. We know the origin of all these characters. It's time for us to see adventures outside of these origin stories. And let us get really into the more unknown stories of these characters. For DC James Gunn, for the DC, I heard instead of phase, they're doing chapters. Yeah, they are doing chapters because the James Gunn announcement video he did, because I actually rewatched it again today for the actual video that I did today, which is another thing that I always do. Like, if we have something that's been discussed before, I always go back and try to refer to old information that we got before, just to kind of refresh myself. So when I watched that video, he named the chapter "Gods and Monsters," which a lot of the projects is going to be focused mainly on gods and monsters. Can you make a team for X-Men that is 10 members, but you cannot pick Professor X? Yeah, I can. Obviously, Cyclops, Beast, Storm, Jean, Gambit, Rogue, Kitty Pryde, Psylocke, Iceman, and Colossus. That would be my 10 people on that team. I feel like there could be someone else that you could add, but that would probably be my 10 people on that team. Just offhand. What about you? What 10 people would you? No, Wolverine, is it no Wolverine? Is it really good? Yeah, that I forgot about Wolverine. See, like that question is a good question because if you have one character, it's like, wait a minute, well, what, you could have this character. What about this character? So, who would I substitute for that? I'm gonna have to substitute Iceman for Wolverine. Now that you mention it, I'm gonna have to substitute Iceman. Iceman can go be with Spider Man and Firestar, but yeah, if you get that reference, yeah. What would be your 10 people on the team, excluding Professor X? For me, it is Beast, Jean, Cyclops, Wolverine, Iceman, Angel, Rogue, Gambit, Storm, and Jubilee. I like that team. I like that team. Awesome, you got the reference. You got the reference. If you know, you know. Um, I like your team. I like your team. That's a really good set of X Men. I honestly, I would not. I wouldn't mind if that was the actual team for the live action X Men movies. But I feel like if they're gonna do the X Men, I could see them maybe doing just the classic team for right now, and then maybe introducing another team towards the future, in future projects. But that would be a really nice team. Because I mean, we got Jubilee in the live action, but she wasn't really even involved. And I still feel like even though the Fox universe and I know Days of Future Past was a good film, and I just feel like the Fox universe just really didn't give us the full X Men, story that we really wanted, that people really wanted to see. I mean, heck, we didn't even get the suits, and that's like another reason why that X Men '97 joke is just hits so funny because it's like, well, what do you expect? Black leather? Like, that is literally how people felt when that movie came out. That's literally how I felt. I'm like, why the X Men have these black leather suits? Why don't they have their blue and gold suits or their classic suits like I like saw growing up? So I really like that joke. And they also did a joke like that in reverse to the live action. What do you expect? Yellow spandex? Which what does it matter if it's yellow spandex? It still would have been cool. That's why people are still freaking out about the fact that Hugh Jackman is literally wearing the Wolverine suit. People have been wanting to see that. They teased that. We never got to see it, but we're finally getting that payoff. So that just shows you right there. Sometimes you just gotta listen to the fans and just hear them out. This is what people want to see. This is what people know the X-Men for. I think it is perfect because it has all the first class members and some of the most popular characters. Yeah, it does. It does. You got the OG class and then you have the well-known characters. So I would not be surprised if X-Men, the live action X-Men movies did decide to go with that team that you mentioned. Because I would love to see Iceman. Because again, with that episode, with them in Genosha, when they like had the cup with the ice in it, I literally thought that they were gonna show Iceman right then and there, but they didn't. So I was like, that would have been so cool if we would have had Iceman in that episode. Are you going to see it? Which one? What are you referring to? The Garfield movie? Are you referring to the Looney Tunes movie? Are you referring to another movie? Um, Jonathan. Or is it Deadpool? Deadpool and Wolverine? Because if it's Deadpool and Wolverine, yes, I'm going day one. I have me and a couple friends of mine. We're going to go see Deadpool and Wolverine that Friday as soon as it comes out. So that's gonna be a fun little thing, and I'll definitely do a review on that. Do you like Nightcrawler? Yes, I do. I adore Nightcrawler, and I wish I'm glad that this show has given us more Nightcrawler because I feel like Nightcrawler is one of those characters that you love to see, but you don't really get to see him often. So when this show and now he's a part of this X-Men team, it just made even more like exciting because Nightcrawler is just again just one of those interesting characters, and there's so much like history with the whole like brotherhood thing with him and then Rogue and you know just even with Gambit and their broship um that I just would love to see more of, and this series gave us that and is giving us that. Also, I think Nightcrawler being the one to do the eulogy for Gambit was a really smart choice. Do you think Wolverine is overrated? Yes. And that as a Wolverine fan, that hurts to say. But yes, I do feel like Wolverine is a overrated X-Men character. He's not the best X-Men character, and he's definitely not the leader of the X-Men. The leader of the X-Men is Cyclops. To me, Cyclops is the heart of the X-Men. Without Cyclops, I feel like you don't have the X-Men. Um, and not to say that as a bad thing, but to me, I just feel like Cyclops has just always been Cyclops, Storm. Storm is another character. Without Storm, you don't have the X-Men either. Because Storm is such a prominent character, and even she takes on the leadership of the X-Men at some point. Which I wouldn't be surprised if maybe Cyclops wants to take a break, him and Jean, to just kind of enjoy life. I wouldn't be surprised if Storm took over for the X-Men for a while. Storm, yeah, Storm is underrated in my opinion. She is. She is very underrated. And I like that this series is giving Storm that limelight because people are getting to see her in her element. That I know for a lot of comic book fans, but also for a lot of fans of Storm, just again would just love to see her take on more of a leadership role. So hopefully we get that. And again, like I would love for us to get further into like her and Black Panther, T'Challa and their relationship, because there's some interesting dynamics there with them together, and even when they do decide to break apart. So yeah, the Wolverine is to me he's very overrated. Let's see if you guys have any more comments. Nope. Okay. What's it? This is another good question. What's an underrated X Men character that you feel like doesn't get enough love? What are your thoughts on Colossus? Is he underrated or overrated? Colossus. Let's see. We've seen some of Colossus before. He's obviously been in Deadpool. He was in one of the Coca Cola commercials that they had recently. I say Colossus to me. I guess from my perspective, I feel like he's underrated because I feel like to me I haven't really seen. He isn't a character that's constantly like in your face like Wolverine is. Yeah, he's been in a lot of movies and stuff before, but as far as like his character, I don't find him overrated to the point of Wolverine. And I know people are kind of been talking about the speculating about the Dazzler. Like, is the Dazzler gonna show up at some point? That's a hard question. Maybe Bishop. Yeah, I feel like Bishop doesn't get a lot of love either. I feel like Bishop is another one of those characters that you see him and it's kind of like, oh hey Bishop, but then it's kind of like you kind of forget about him. So in some ways in the show, it feels that way too with Bishop. He's kind of like, oh hey Bishop, he's there for like the first 3 episodes, and then he's just gone. We haven't seen him since. Like, is Bishop a part of the Horsemen now? Did he get captured? I wonder about Bishop because we haven't seen him yet. He hasn't came back. Or Dazzler, maybe Angel, Archangel. Yeah, if you were to cast Dazzler, because I know people are fan casting Taylor Swift. I don't see it. Honestly, I don't see Taylor Swift as the Dazzler. So if you were to cast someone as the Dazzler, who would it be for you? See, Archangel. Archangel's definitely an underrated character too. I know a little bit of Archangel, but not much of his character. I really don't know who would fit the role of Dazzler. Yeah, see, that's kind of it's one of those things where it's kind of like who would play the Dazzler? Because like I said again, I just don't see Taylor Swift being Dazzler, in my honest opinion. Do you have someone? As far as like, do I have someone like as in a girlfriend? Because I don't. I actually don't have a girlfriend. I live by myself. You're talking about do I have someone that would fit Dazzler? Oh God. Uh, yeah, no, I actually don't have someone who would actually fit Dazzler. I don't. I wish I knew somebody. I mean, I kind of had an idea at one point, but then I was like, I don't really see her as Dazzler anymore. So as far as like who could be cast as Dazzler, I don't. Maybe I thought like maybe Sabrina Carpenter, but I feel like Sabrina Carpenter because I mean I used to watch Girl Meets World, um, because I was like a big fan of Boy Meets World, and I'm still a big fan of Boy Meets World. And even though I feel like Girl Meets World to me didn't have the same vibe as Boy Meets World, I still think like there's like Sabrina Carpenter was like the standout on that show. How about Angel, Archangel? I don't know who could play Angel in the X Men. That would be someone I'd have to think about. Now, I do know somebody if they ever wanted to do a movie on Gene Wilder, they could definitely get the guy from The Bear. If you anybody watches The Bear on FX, if you search up the guy on the main character from The Bear and Gene Wilder, like um, he would definitely play a good Gene Wilder if they ever do a biopic. I'm the only one who remembered the Home Alone reboot. I remember seeing commercials about the Home Alone reboot, but as far as like watching it, I never had an interest. To me, the first two Home Alone movies, that's where I end. All the other Home Alone movies after, mm-mm. But the first Home Alone will always be the definitive Home Alone for me. Who do you think would fit that role? Honestly, I think it would be the old actor for Havoc. Who's the older actor for Havoc? Which one? I watched all the robots. They're meh. All the you've watched all the reboots. They're meh. Yeah, I just never really watched them because I'm like, if it's not Macaulay Culkin, I don't want it. Macaulay Culkin is the heart of uh, the Home Alone movies to me, and I just feel like the first two, even though I don't like the second one for certain things, but the first one will always be like that funny movie. Like when the guys are trying to come in, the guys are clearly trying to rob the house, and he turns on like the old gangster movie, and the guys are trying to rob the house are literally thinking they're the ones that are getting shot at. Is just one of the funniest moments in a Christmas movie. The old actor for Havoc was Luca Till. Let's see, Luca Till. Let me look it up right now. Luca Till. Oh, yeah, I remember this guy. Yeah, he was in that movie Monster Trucks. I remember watching that. That was a long time ago, but I remember that Monster Trucks that came out 2016. And he was in the MacGyver reboot they did. X Men First Class. That's the one he was in. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. Really, I think Lucas still would be good for Angel. He's only 33, 33 years old, so he could play it for a good amount of years. Let's see, who was all in First Class, by the way? Let's see, X Men First Class. Oh, the guy, I can't pronounce his name. He played Darwin, which I feel like that was weird. They killed his character off because I believe his character can't die, right? Darwin, I believe, right? Like his character can't die, and they killed him off. So now he's playing Mr. Fantastic in the new Superman movie. Now, obviously, we got Zoe Kravitz, which she's the Catwoman for Matt Reeves' The Batman, which I love. The Batman, one of my favorite movies. Obviously, got James McAvoy, uh, Michael Fassbender, Kevin Bacon, which that's interesting. That's interesting because I mean Kevin Bacon. Obviously, if you've seen the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, they went on a whole hunt to get Star Lord Kevin Bacon. So that's really interesting that he was in X Men First Class. I didn't really click on it until now. I wonder if they could do something with that. That would be kind of funny. If they ever do like a, if they ever do something with that. I doubt it though. Yeah, I have a theory. Darwin did not die. He just teleported away. Okay, okay. So do you think Darwin could come back at some point? Because obviously we have a movie that's going to be coming out, which seems to bring in some X Men potentially. Don't know if it will, because again, I've been trying to stay away from like the rumors and stuff like that, because I know you know I know that just I want to go into Deadpool and Wolverine as clean as possible. I don't want to know anything about the film. Obviously, I watched the trailers, but what's been good about the trailers for that movie so far is the fact that they don't reveal a lot of what's going on. They just give you little bits and pieces of it. So whoever's doing the trailers for Deadpool and Wolverine, they need to keep them to do the trailers for all the Marvel movies because they don't reveal anything, which is good. But yeah, I'm probably gonna wrap it up in a few minutes because I have something that I have to do. In about like maybe 5 minutes. So if there are any more comments, if you guys have any more things that you guys would like to discuss, let me know. Also, I do want to say this, like I will be doing a live stream on Wednesday. So when the X-Men episode comes out, um because I'm trying to figure out a day. Would you guys prefer me to do it on Wednesday exactly when the episode comes out? Or would you guys prefer me to do it on Thursday so that way you guys can get at least a day to check out the X-Men 97 episode and then we talk about it? Just let me know. Did you watch X-Men First Class? I think it's overrated. Yes, I watched it recently because I'm doing a Road to Deadpool, Deadpool and Wolverine kind of thing. So I'm going back and rewatching all the X-Men movies, and I'd say it's all right. I still think Days of Future Past is still the best Fox X-Men movie, even though you could probably say that movie's overrated too. You just saw the new picture for the day the Earth blew up and almost had a heart attack. Oh man, yeah. You don't want you to have a heart attack. But I'm glad you saw the image, and I'm glad you're excited for the movie. Like I said, the movie looks really good, and I'm looking forward to it. I really do hope we get that theatrical release soon. Do it when you think you know it's best after it is your live stream. That is true. That is true. So I might do it. I might do it like around this time, 5 o'clock. Go live on Wednesday. Then we can talk about the finale, and just like what we thought of the show overall. I think that would be really cool. What do you think of the original X-Men 97 show? So are we talking X-Men the animated series, or are we talking about X-Men 97? If you're talking about X-Men 97, I think it's a phenomenal show. I think it's a phenomenal show with great storytelling, scenes and episodes that make your jaw drop, things that you didn't expect for them to do, and just they do it, and it's just like wow, just good comic stuff. Pray on a miracle for release Coyote vs Acme. I hope we do get Coyote vs Acme because again, I really want to see that movie, and we need it. We need that movie, so I'm hoping for that. I'll make sure to keep it on my schedule on Wednesday. Yeah, that's what I'll do. That's what I'll do from now on. On Wednesdays, if I'm not busy, I'll try to do a live stream every Wednesday on at 5. Unless we get some big news that comes out, then I'll do maybe a live stream about whatever big news we have. But as far as like um maybe doing live streams, maybe Wednesday would probably be the best time to do it. The animation is spectacular. I wish they made a physical. Yes, 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 yes. I agree with you 100%. We need physical release for X-Men 97 because if they do, I will buy it. I will buy the disc. So I hope that is something that we do because they just did it with Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Moon Knight, and they did it with Loki. They did it with some Star Wars stuff if you guys are into Star Wars. So I hope we get a physical release for X-Men 97 as well. I am going to watch the original X Men. I've not watched the original X Men 97 before. I really don't know about X Men 97. Well, it's okay. It's okay. You don't necessarily have to watch the original X Men the animated series for all the things, but if you do want to for context on some of the things that happen, you can. I do suggest watching the OG show because it's an amazing show and it gives you much more context on just all the characters and just kind of how it all started out, how it came to be. X Men 97 is a good successor to that. I'm so happy that you started streaming a couple days ago before you did your first stream. I was like, I wonder how fun it would be. Like I said, I am beyond glad that I started doing streaming myself because this is honestly giving me this is honestly giving me much more time to interact with you guys and just kind of chat it about these different shows and different things that we like to, maybe talk about. And maybe we don't have people to discuss it with because I really don't have people to really discuss the things that I like to talk about with. So these streams just give me that option to do that with you guys, and I'm enjoying it, and I can't wait to do more. I can't wait to do more streams in the future. And like I said, once I get my setup right and all that stuff, we're gonna do more stuff. We're gonna do more streams. We're gonna do some gaming streams over on Twitch and YouTube, and maybe do some music reactions and just some other things in the future. I have some other plans that I want to do, so just stick around, and I promise you, we will be doing some really cool things in the future. Eric Bauza. Something about Eric Bauza you said? I don't know if you're still here or not. But yeah, King Flame. Definitely go check out the original series and check out X Men '97. Both great shows. You're gonna enjoy them, and I think you're gonna like it. I think you're gonna like the storytelling, the animation. Even if you don't know anything about the X Men, this show, X Men '97 and X Men the animated series, will make you want to know more about these characters. So it's really good. Eric Bauza, he can sing in his Marvin voice. Do you know how hard it is to be a voice actor and a singer? It is very hard to do a voice and sing in that same voice, but when you're as talented as Eric Bauza, you can do it. And Eric, again, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Eric Bauza is our modern day Mel Blanc. The man is very talented. He can do voices of so many different characters. He does the Sentinel voices in X Men '97. He's done some voices in the Super Mario Brothers movie. He's done so many voice lines and roles throughout many different shows that many people don't even know about until you search up on IMDb and you're like, wait a minute, he voiced that character? Wow, I did not realize that. So the artistry of voice acting, the artistry. I'm so glad you started. Yeah, so glad you started to stream, because I like. I'm glad that I can talk to someone about this amazing work. Yeah, I'm glad that you came through. I'm glad that everybody's come through into the streams and just chatted up. Like I said, I don't have the best setup. There's tons of other streamers and people who just have incredible setups, and but just starting out simple like this, just streaming here on my phone right now is just it's just been really fun, and I'm just really enjoying it. What's your favorite X Men '97 character? My favorite X Men '97 character has to be. It's tough because I have a few. Like, I have Cyclops, Nightcrawler, Storm, Rogue. Honestly, I'm enjoying all the characters in this show. There's not one character in this show that I don't like, really, to be honest with you. But my favorite character would have to be Cyclops. I just like the way, again, I like the way they're doing Cyclops. Cyclops has always been a character that, again, I've always found to be not done in the best light, especially with the live action movies. He was always played off as a joke, but with this, it really gives Cyclops that prominent role as a leader that many of us have wanted to see for years. Let's see if we have any more comments. If you have any more comments, I'm gonna end the stream in a few minutes. So if you guys have any more comments, questions, anything of that nature, definitely try to put it down below. How do I watch How do I watch the original X Men at the animated series? It's on Disney Plus. Do you have Disney Plus, King Flame? Because they're all the episodes are on there, all the seasons. If you have it, if you don't, try to hint hint find some other alternatives to check out. I wouldn't advise it. I'm definitely not advising it, but if you don't, but yeah. Okay, you got Disney Plus. Yeah. Yeah. So if you have Disney Plus, just search up X Men and you'll see X-Men the animated series. It has like a gold banner. You'll see Wolverine and all the characters from the X-Men, and you'll see it right there. So before you end the stream, I love your stuff. Your work is amazing. I'm happy you are continuing your amazing work, and your setup is pretty good, better than other streams. Thank you, Marvel fan. I really appreciate that. I really do. It's not much, but sometimes you have to make. Sometimes you have to make it work. You have to do what you have, and try to make the best out of it. Which alludes to my favorite superhero Marvel hero of all time, Spider-Man. Spider-Man is my favorite Marvel hero of all time. And as someone who's a big Marvel Spider-Man fan, I mean, Spider-Man literally had to make do with what he had to make his suit. He had to make his suit on his own. He had to make his own web shooters on his own. So a lot of that inspiration comes from Spider-Man. So I guess that's kind of where that whole like just inspiration comes from. Cyclops definitely leads. He does. In this series, he leads like he should, and like the comics, he leads. Right now on Disney Plus, right now, where to find the original X-Men '97? You can go. Disney Plus has a search bar, and you can go to the search bar and just search up X-Men, and maybe search up X-Men the animated series, and it'll probably show X-Men the animated series, and it'll show X-Men '97. X-Men '97 is the one with a gray bluish banner. If you don't want to watch that one right now, you can watch the uh, the one with the yellow banner. It's got a yellow banner, and you'll see it. And that's the one you can start with if you want to watch the original one. Let's see, do we have any more? Wolverine is cool though. Wolverine is cool though, and I think Ray Chase is doing a good job at Cyclops since Norm Spencer passed away. Yes, rest in peace to Norm Spencer. Ray Chase he's doing a phenomenal job as Cyclops, and even with Gambit, even Gambit's voice actor AJ, what's his name? I follow him on Twitter. AJ starts with a C. His last name. He did a good job as Gambit. So that's just another testament to the voice acting in the show, and even the newer talent that they got for the show. Some of the voices they fit with the characters. So yeah. Let's see, any more comments? See if we can get one more comment in, and then I'm gonna end the stream. Again, really enjoy the stream, and shout out and thank you to everybody who's come into the stream, just chatting it up with me about X-Men, Batman, DC, Marvel, all the good stuff. Did you watch the whole OG show of X-Men? Yes, I did. I did. I watched it before. I actually watched it. I watched it when I was little on Fox Kids. Then I watched it when it came on Disney Plus. Then I rewatched it when X-Men '97, when the trailer came out, like afterwards. I took like weeks of it and I watched the entire show until leading up to X-Men '97. So that definitely gave me a good refresher through the series before I watched X-Men '97. I do think it's badass that they got Phil Lamar for the series, though he's a legend in voice acting. Yeah, yeah, that is really cool. Yeah, because they got him to also. I believe he did Cable's voice in the series too, if I'm not mistaken. What episode? What episode of original X Men '97 before? Just start with the first one. Just start with the first episode, and then go from there. But yeah, I'm gonna end it here. It's been a really awesome time being able to again chat it up with you guys in the stream, discuss X-Men 97, discuss Batman Caped Crusader, DC, Marvel, Looney Tunes, Cartoon Network. We talk about so many things, and it's really awesome to just have a mix of different conversations and different opinions. And I really enjoy you guys' opinions and thoughts and just your ideas and theories of where things could go and where you'd like to see things go. So yeah, let's see. We got two more comments. Well, nice. Since ending the stream, I love your stuff. Keep up the good work. I hope you have a good rest of your week and peace. Peace. Definitely tune in on Wednesday at 5 p.m. because again, I will be talking about X-Men 97 episode 10, the finale. So definitely be there for that. We'll have an awesome discussion like we do. What's your favorite kind of Marvin movie? Uh, as far as like Marvin, like are we talking like Marvin the Martian? Because I don't think Marvin the Martian's had a movie. I mean, he was in Looney Tunes Back in Action, and he was in the Space Jam movies. Okay, you will be tuning in. That's awesome. Awesome. Well, yeah, that's gonna be the end of the stream. If King Flame, if you have what you're referring to, definitely let me know in the comments under the stream, and I'll let you know the answer of what you're talking about. So yeah, definitely stick around if you guys have not seen the newest video for today. It's gonna be a ton of stuff with Cartoon Network, Hanna-Barbera Studios, all the good stuff at the Annecy Festival. With that being said, as I always say in my videos, big love to you all, and peace out. Wait, hold on. Have a great rest of your evening, Josh. You're doing amazing with these live streams, man. Last night I was hoping you'd go live again, and today's stream was excellent. Yeah, let's see. Marvel fan, 330 videos, amazing milestone. Thank you. Do you see the news of X-Men 97 shows? Yeah, I do see the news. There hasn't really been news lately besides people just talking about the show. But yeah, I gotta end it. Like I said, if you have any more comments, definitely let me know down under the stream. And yeah, peace out, guys.